Do you enjoy exercise? Are you a champion of justice? Do you like helping others? Can you open a jar of pickles without beating your chest afterwards? You might be strength. Hi, party people. It's me, Taylor Ellis, the creator of the Ellis Deck Tarot and the Tarot of the Starbound Phantasia. And you guessed it, today we're talking about strength or lust. But I'm not doing that the whole time. Let's get started. When assigning an elemental attribute to the strength card, we say fire. How is strength like fire? First off, think about how both require fuel. You gotta have a good breakfast to get going every morning. You have to have some kind of, willpower to draw down from when you're gonna perform feats of strength. Sometimes to have the strength to go on, someone has to nourish themselves spiritually. If we're talking about how they can be used, they are both, destructive and constructive. Fire can be used to cook food. It can keep us warm. Can power our engines. It can, be a source of energy. Alternatively, it can destroy homes. It can destroy forests. It requires a container. And strength is the same way. When somebody is a bully, what are they doing? They're misusing their strength. When somebody, breaks something because they don't know what they're doing, they were forcing it, and so again, both kind of have to be contained. Both require some food to get going, and both can be pretty awesome in the right circumstances. Digging around through my usual channels to get you an I Ching correspondence for strength, I kind of struggled. A lot of readers of both the I Ching and the Tarot suggest just fire over fire. And that's kind of boring to me, because we're going to talk about that a lot whenever we talk about the wad or the rod or the wand cards. And digging a little bit further, I found a website I liked. I'll put the link down below. And I don't know if it's pronounced Hermes or Hermines or something. I think of Hermes, but it's Hermines.one. And I'm sure I'll hear later how it's actually said. But what they suggested is I Ching hexagram 21, which is fire over thunder, which is also interesting because you'll note on both cards there's a softer, more yin, feminine being sitting on top of a more masculine, like solar lion rah, type. And so in terms of gendering the trigrams, we're not really gendering, we're not implying what genitals they have, but we would say that like fire is a yin trigram. It's a consumption of fuel. And then thunder is a masculine trigram. It is energy striking. It's yang. And I didn't memorize this. I'm just going to read it out of Wilhelm Baines here, but I really liked what they had to say. It says, biting through has success. It is favorable to let justice be administered. And it's like the theme of like a criminal lawsuit, like pursuing justice for something and how to go about that. And it's saying that unqualified hardness and excitement would be too violent in meting out punishment. Unqualified clarity and gentleness would be too weak. The two together create the just measure. It is of moment that the person who makes the decisions, represented by the fifth line, is gentle by nature, while they command respect by their conduct and their position. So again, this is an interplay of gentleness and force, which is important. When we overdo it, when we're punishing, we create problems for the future. And when we underdo it, we allow the current problem a lot of times to just fester into an even bigger problem. The astrological association for the strength card is pretty easy to remember. If you look at both of these cards, you'll notice that they've got a lion on them. And that's because the astrological correspondence for the Strength and the Lust card is Leo. This can make Strength, someone that embodies this card, can be proud. They can be a little dramatic. They have a tendency to be bossy. But you know, in a positive way, they can be creative. They can be generous. There's a big well to draw from, and you know, sometimes you have to look out for their idealism. You know, there's a danger of being sentimental about false ideas. If they've made up their mind that they feel a certain way about something, it can be very hard to talk them down. They're very strong in that opinion. You know, but when they meet adversity, it's met with resolution. It's a very solar card. You know, Leo is very much ruled by the sun, and this is that. You know, I've got this. I don't. If anything, Leos believe in themselves, and you know that's the core tenet of Strength: is do you believe in yourself? We're going to get started with the Ellis deck like we usually do. And first, with this card in particular, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. A lot of you might know that the Rider-Waite-Smith cards have Strength as 8. And as do many cards that follow in that tradition. I made the Ellis deck after my study of the Aquarian Tarot, which follows in the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition. And then when I made the Tarot of the Starbound Phantasia, I used the Marseille Tarot and the Thoth deck as a model. And while the Thoth deck came after the Golden Dawn's Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Marseille came before. And when we look for an explanation why Arthur Waite changed it, what he does in Arthur Waite tradition is proceeds to be kind of a condescending ass about it. And his direct quote is, "For reasons which satisfy myself, this card has been interchanged with that of justice, which is usually numbered 8. As the variation carries nothing with it which will signify the reader, there is no cause for explanation." So I don't have to tell you because you wouldn't get it. So anyway, Strength is 8 in this deck. So making sense of where it ends in order in the Ellis deck, I look at it as a goal of the Chariot. This is like the unanimous direction that the dynamic forces of the lions pulling the Chariot, it's where they arrive. The purple mountains are like this spiritual state where the Strength card is sitting. If we look at the Fool card, it was one of the places he wanted to get to in his journey, and it's the hermit chills there. He's walking out there with his lantern in self-discovery. And if we look at the card itself, on the bottom of the card where the character is sitting, they are sitting on this lion, and the lion is calm. I mean, they're almost domesticated. It's kind of like a teddy bear lion. They're not roaring. They're not a monstrous creature, and they're being stroked by like the left hand of this character. There's a gentleness. Now the tail is a snake with fangs, and they're reptilian. They're cold-blooded, and they're met with the other hand. They're met with force, and that's the right hand of the figure versus like this left hand that's stroking the lion, and it's representing this duality of animal nature. Like the lion is almost domesticated, like, and there's like a mammalian warmth, and while the snake is like a reptile, is like cold and cruel. But both of those things, that's nature, baby. That's nature, and that's that's core Strength. The figure sitting there is wearing a wolf skin, almost like a Germanic or like a Norse warrior in a myth. It's like conquering and utilizing their own animal nature. But they smile. They're not like a growling beast. The strength doesn't have to, require that kind of presentation. They don't, there's no necessary boast when you're actually strong. It's just shown in who you are and what you do. And it's not a goat specifically, but another piece of imagery that I was trying to go for with this is like the idea of the Greek chimera, which was an amalgamation of like a lion, a goat, and a snake, and kind of like all the other children of the Titans, like the Hydra and the Cerberus. They represented like chaos and untamed nature, but that kind of power has been like calmed and tamed, and they're at the disposal of the person in this reading. Now we got to talk about number 11, or lust. Now, while Aleister Crowley started out in the Golden Dawn, he had no love for them, and he left. And he started his own Rich White People Wizard Club, and they had their own tarot, they had their own rituals, and he went back to the original order, and, lust, which he described as lust implies not only strength, but the joy of strength exercised. So that's like feeling really good about who you are, that Leo confidence coming back into play. And so, making this 11 makes it a different major sequence. So this would be coming after the wheel. So in this, we would think about, okay, what happened in the wheel in the Starbound Phantasia? We were exposed to the seven-pointed star of alchemy, and it sort of gave us this concept of the alchemical process. Well, what happens? We go, hell, I want a holy grail. I want one. I want the philosopher's stone. And we see that the lust card says, okay, you want one? You want a holy grail? Here's a base matter holy grail. Get to work. Get busy. You got to make it yourself. You don't just get one. You have to make your own lightsaber. Basically, if we go to the top of the card, we see that we do indeed have the Scarlet Woman here, and her entire outfit, if we want to call it an outfit, is made of this red hair. Think of like the root chakra, or like the color of blood, and it's almost like a robe, and she's wearing this white mask on her face. Like, think of the illuminated moon. Think of like the high priestess and kind of her own like white mask and her own sort of role as this powerful woman. And then think of the moon card and the disciples of the high priestess walking across the bottom of the moon card, and kind of their own homage to this character, this Scarlet Woman of Lust. And if we look underneath the hair and we look at the left hand coming out, stroking this beast, sort of how they are united, we see that she has her actual body is dark skin, like the goddess Kali. Like there's the wrathful presence of the dark feminine is there as well. This is not some woman just waiting to be conquered, so to speak. And she has 7 crowns. 7 horns. That's the crown on her head. And another thing I did not memorize for today that I'm just going to read to you is the significance of the number 7 with this card. So I'm going to put the card down, and I'm going to get this book up, the Book of Thoth, from the other Rich White Guy Wizard Club. And I'm going to read, 7 are the veils of the dancing girl and the harem of it. 7 are the names, and 7 are the lamps beside her bed. 7 eunuchs guard her with drawn swords. No man may come nigh unto her. In her wine cup are 7 streams of the blood of the 7 spirits of God. 7 are the heads of the beast whereon she rideth, the head of an angel, the head of a saint, the head of a poet, the head of an adulterous woman, the head of a man of valor, the head of a satyr, and the head of a lion serpent. 7 letters hath her holiest name, and it is Babylon. I thought Crowley had a pretty interesting idea with the beast here. As she's bound to it with her left hand, with her passion, he's saying that the union is to deny the hero human fatherhood. And then he gives a few examples. He talks about Romulus and Remus were sired by Mars. The Gautama Buddha's father was a six-tusked elephant who appeared to the mother in a dream. And even the Holy Ghost appearing as a dove to impregnate the Virgin Mary. So the birth of a hero is like there's a twist of the supernatural in there. So when we look at this card, we think that this is the 9, lust. Editing Taylor here. It's 11. It's not 9. I don't know why I kept doing that. I don't know how many times I had to keep re-recording different stuff because I would say 9 and not 11, but is the conception of a hero, these powers coming together to create something more than human. So whether it be 8, whether it be 11, whether it be a pompous jerk or a raving lunatic, whoever made the card, I think the overall symbology is where strength comes from is both natural and supernatural. And the union of those two things is kind of what makes it amazing. We have so much ability to do so many different things with our strength. But what's important is that we choose to do it with some semblance of control and reverence. If you made it this far, I'd love it if you hit like and subscribe. If you don't hit like and subscribe, I love you for making it this far. Either which way, I appreciate the view. If there's anything you'd like to add to the conversation, please feel free to post down below. If you have any questions about either card I created, feel free to post down below. If there's another card that I've made that you'd like me to talk about that I haven't talked about yet, please post down below. If you want to post down below, please post down below. Either which way, thanks for watching. Happy reading.